Hello muckers, good morning. It is currently 6:50 in the morning. Am I awake early? I just put on some Vaseline. Now I'm gonna do this for 5 minutes so I can get all the cat hairs. Got it. Anyway, good morning. Sorry, I need to keep my voice down, forgot. Morning time. I'm gonna have a Red Bull. And I wanted to come out here and just chit chat. I don't know if anyone else does this, but whenever I want my drinks to be really cold and I don't have any ice cubes and I don't want to wait for it to be in the fridge for a few hours, if you put it in the freezer for like 20 minutes, but if you don't do it too long that it comes like icy, you will have the coldest drink in the entire world. So this is going to be the most... I just have cat hairs everywhere. Just have cat hairs everywhere. You'll have the coldest drink ever, and nothing hits like a cold Red Bull. Anyway, I want to show you the view right now. So it is currently, well, it's actually after sunrise right now because it's rising a lot earlier, but it is very, very, very beautiful right now in Brighton. Very quiet, well, obviously because it's the morning autumn, duh. But okay, wait, there we go. Basically what I wanted to do was, I used to film these videos where I would come out on my balcony and I would just kind of talk and stuff, and I haven't done one in a while because the weather has been so bad, and especially in the mornings, like it will be so rainy and so thundery, and so it's just been the worst weather recently. So I'm enjoying this, but basically there's like a couple things on my mind where I want to talk, and I also just kind of want to say where I'm at, what I'm doing. So it's Wednesday right now, and on Friday I am meeting Paris Hilton, which is just so random. This literally looks like a sponsor the way this is just sitting here. I'm meeting Paris Hilton on Friday. I'm going to her book signing. You had to buy tickets to it, and I literally thought it was going to be like, you go, she's like really far away, she signs the book and you don't get a photo. Because you never know what to expect with these things. This is literally rising up the straw. Can you see that? That's how cold it is. But a couple of my friends went to the one today in New York City, and they said that it was like, you went up to the table, she like got around and hugged people, which I didn't think we were doing because, you know, artists are so, you know, protective after COVID and stuff, which is completely understandable. I never even thought that, you know, she would be hugging people or whatever. And she was taking selfies with people, she was doing, like, she was going above and beyond, and I was a bit confused by this. And then I realized, like, it isn't just like a normal, like, book signing where people just show up. Like, we had to book time slots, which was surprising to me, but that kind of makes sense now if she's actually taking time with each person, which is unexpected. It was like £20, I think. What was that? It was like £20. Let me close this door a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, it was like £20 to get the ticket to go and meet her, which was mainly like the book cost. She's releasing her memoir. So I'm excited for Friday, and I'm also gonna go and hang out with my friend Christian, who I haven't hung out with in a long time, and Christian's like my brother, and I can't wait to go and see him, and I don't see him much because he's in London and I'm, you know, down here. And I used to go to London all the time, but it's just really expensive now, and I just can't really justify the price, honestly. Like, the trains are extortionately priced, and it's like 60-70 pound, you know, to go to London now as a return, and it's just not worth it, because you do the trains and then you've spent all this money, and then you're only arriving in London, and like when you get to London is when you spend the money. So I haven't gone to London in a long time, which is upsetting because I absolutely love London and I would have loved to have gone a couple times, but the weather's also been really bad to keep in mind as well, so like that's also a reason. But it just is really expensive to go anywhere right now. I was looking into Paris because I'm still in the process of paying off my tax, which has been like absolutely kicking my ass, and like tax season is so scary, and so it always has been for me, and I think because I live alone and stuff, I just feel so much more pressure than if I was back home, because, you know, like, all the responsibility is on myself, which obviously it always is. But basically my tax payment, like, is insane, like it was last year, and so I'm currently dealing with that. So I'm focusing on paying that off rather than, spending money on other things right now. But I was like, oh my god, I would love to go to Paris for a weekend to film content. And I actually mean going and filming content, because I was like, oh my god, I could film, TikToks at Disneyland Paris, and, all these different things. And I was like, let me, see how much a trip to Paris would be. Now, normally you could do like a weekend in Paris for relatively cheap. And that was why I was always going, was because, sorry, so many planes going over, and I'm obsessed with looking at the little trails. You could, get the train, or you could get a flight and or train to London, or, sorry, from London to Paris, return, for honestly like £40-60, which isn't bad. That's the equivalent of going to London now. And then, hotels just range in price. Like, there were some hotels that were more pricey that I stayed at. There were some that were, really cheap. And I actually mean, like, cheap. And I was looking, and the hotels that I normally stay at that are, like, my cheapy hotels, because I was like, let me go for, like, a quick weekend, are, like, £300 on top of what they normally are. And I was like, what the hell? This doesn't make sense. And then I looked, and it was like, prices have risen based on, like, water consumption, based on heating, based on all this. It was all this breakdown, and I was like, oh my god, like, the cost of living crisis. Like, I don't know why I never, like, anticipated that, like, that also goes up as well. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like hotels are such a, like, foreign concept to me, where I'm like, I don't feel like a real person whenever I'm in them. Of course they have to, pay their bills. Of course they have to pay, heating and electric. I don't know why. It was just, you know what I mean? And also, flights as well have gone up, and because of fuel, and yeah, it's been crazy. So I was like, I am not doing that. Like, I was going to go to Copenhagen this weekend, and I'm not doing that anymore. Or what? I was going to go to Copenhagen next weekend, because Bonnie Tyler is doing a concert there. And I was going to go. I messaged her manager. I have, like, her manager's information, like her tour manager, because we were in contact last time I went to her concert and met her. And I was like, hey, like, I'm thinking of going to the Copenhagen show. Do you know if Bonnie is, like, doing, like, fan meets before or after the shows? Because she normally meets, like, 10 to 15, fans. He didn't get back to me. So I'm not going to bother him anymore, but I'm not going to go, because I was only going to go if I could possibly meet her before or after. Just because, again, it would have been, like, a pricier trip now, because everything's gone up, so I wanted to, like, make it worthwhile. What is going on here? Hold on, let me check what is going on here. What is going on? Of course everyone is sitting innocently on the sofa whenever I do that. Anyways, so, no Copenhagen Bonnie Tyler. But, yeah, I mean, it just is, and I've been speaking to my friends as well, and, like, my rent has gone up. My friend's rent has gone up. And it's crazy. It's like everything is just extortionately priced right now. I normally do my grocery shopping, and whenever you, like, pay, like, a certain amount on Apple Pay, and it's like the delusions of, like, it's how easy it is to, tap on, tap off. I was getting my groceries one of the other days, and my Apple payment declined it, because I never normally spend that amount of money at the grocery shop, because I normally just get groceries. But because the groceries are so expensive now, my normal grocery shop was, like, triple the price. Just everything is so expensive right now. And, oh my god, one of the main things that has gone up in price? Cat litter. Cat litter is £20 for the bag that I normally got this time last year, this time a couple months ago, that was normally £10, so it's gone up £10. It's doubled in price for the same thing. It's absolutely crazy. So I hope you're doing well in these times. I mean, if I didn't have my friends to talk to, I would think I was going crazy, you know what I mean? In terms of, like, wait, I'm pretty sure I didn't normally pay this. My heat bill, oh my god. My electricity, oh my god, like, all these different things. But luckily I have my friends to speak to, and keeps me sane. And my family as well, who are feeling it. My friends who are feeling it. You who's feeling it. Like, I want to know your opinion on just, like, that, because it's so crazy. And I feel that I keep hearing people be like, the cost of living crisis and all these different things. But no one's really talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, oh, prices are rising. But people really aren't speaking about it that much, which is just... And a couple of my friends have lost their jobs. in the past couple weeks, which is devastating. And with like rising prices, and they don't have any jobs anymore, and it's like so many of my friends actually, whether they've lost jobs or their hours have been cut back. Like it's really 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 scary. So I want to know where you're at with it, how you're doing, because it's people are talking about it, but they're not talking about it. I don't know if that makes sense. They're talking about it so surface level, but they're not talking about it. And I think money is such a stressful thing for everybody. And a lot of people don't like talking about money. A lot of people don't, and that's completely valid. But I just think at a certain stage, people have to be a little bit honest in terms of like how they're coping with it. You know, openly speaking. And I'm glad that I have friends who do that, because you know, kind of makes me feel, you know, more kind of free to talk about it, and me feel more, you know. But it's crazy. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to bring the mood down, because I am in a good mood. But like, I mean, that's real life. That is what's going on right now. So anyway, St. Patrick's Day, going to London to meet Paris Hilton is going to be the first time I've really done anything out of Brighton in probably since, you know, I was back home for Christmas. So I'm very excited to go to London. I'm very excited to have an excuse to do something, you know what I mean? Like, I'm justifying it now. Because I was like, oh, I want to go to London today. It's like, oh, I can't really justify spending that amount of money on, like, just, like, a day in London. However, I have an excuse to go for Paris Hilton. By the way, what do we think of the hair? It was really, like, blondie, and then I put a lot of purple shampoo in it, and it kind of made it really purpley, but it made it really white as well, so I'm kind of feeling... I had a breakdown, oh my god, like 2 weeks ago, where I was, like, calling my hairdresser, and I was like, I want to go back brown today, like, can you do it today, can you do it today? I want to go back brown hair, I want to go back brown hair. If I have a really bad day, I start to internalize it in terms of my appearance. I've always been like that. And I went through a bad couple weeks ago, and I was like, I want to change my hair, because it's like the most immediate thing I can do to like change my appearance, which I then think will like make me like myself more whenever I'm going through it. And I was like, please, I'm begging, like, I will pay you so much more money than what I normally do, like, please do it today, like, I hate how I look, I hate the blonde, I look so ugly. And this woman on the phone is like, please calm down. She's been my hairdresser for like 2 years, so she knows, you know, how to deal with me. But she was like, I'm not doing this today. She was like, I'm not doing this today because you have worked so hard to get that blonde. And she was like, you can call me back again in a week. Because I had a hair appointment for 3 weeks after that. And she was like, you can call me back in a week. We don't have to do the 3-week appointment. We can do it next week. But I am making you sit on this thought because you're being like, is it rational or irrational? Rational or irrational? It's the one where I'm like jumping at it. She was like, you're acting like that right now, and you've worked too hard to get this blonde. You've told me so much how you feel so much more confident when you're blonde. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not doing this to you today. And she was like, and if you go to another hairdresser, don't come back to me. So she was like, it was interesting. But I'm glad she did it because I was just going through a little bit of identity crisis where I like absolutely just lost all confidence in myself, and I go through that pretty often these days, which is awful. But anyway, one thing that I did want to talk about was I've kind of reconnected with my friends who I haven't really hung out with in a while. I have, you know, my friend Rachel, who stayed with me for a bit, and she moved out with her friend Emily, who's my friend Emily, who's dating Emily's boyfriend Aaron, who's my friend Aaron. So there's like that friend group. Now, I stopped hanging out with them like a month or 2 months or 3 months or something like that ago, and the reason for it was because I just felt so self-conscious around all of them, because Rachel has a boyfriend and Emily has a boyfriend, and I would always go and I would be on my own, and I am really, really, really insecure when it comes to feeling like I'm going to like never find someone, and that kind of makes me feel more self-conscious. It's nothing on them at all, because they're not doing anything, they're involving me, they aren't, you know, making out in front of me, they aren't, you know, not inviting me to things or whatever like that, but it's like an internalized thing where I will feel so drained and feel so bad about myself and feel so horrid and I'm unlovable and blah 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 after hanging out with my friends who are all in relationships, that I just stopped it. And I told them, I was like, this has nothing to do with you, by the way. I just feel really insecure whenever I hang around you because I'm deeply insecure when it comes to relationships, and the fact that you have, been in a couple relationships, and you're with your long-term person now, and I can barely hold a date. It makes me feel really insecure, and it's my problem, it's not yours, and I don't want to project that on you, but also I don't want to have to like fake being happy around you and then come home and like not leave my bed for a couple days, because that literally is how I act with it. However, I reconnected with them all, and it's as if nothing ever changed. I mean, they're all great, but I think I finally took time away and worked on it, which I think is really important. And I worked on that like side of me that's really insecure, and I worked on that side of me that feels like very unlovable and all these different things. And I think I'm like mostly over it now. And here's why. And I'm so happy that I reconnected with them, by the way, because like they really are like just so amazing to be around. Like a couple days ago, we went over to their house because Rachel and Emily live together, and they made us like a Sunday roast. And I haven't had like I don't know what that was. I haven't had like a home cooked meal since I moved to Brighton, like in Brighton, because I don't cook. I will eat like ramen or something like that, and it was just such a sweet thing. And it was like they really have like welcomed me with like open arms again, and they knew it was never a problem with them. They knew it was a problem that I was dealing with. They never judged me, they never whatever. But I think a main thing with that was that I was always like honest with them, and I was very upfront with what it was, because yeah, it was something that I had to deal with, and that's absolutely fine. But anyway, here's how I got over it. I went on 2 dates. Okay, stick with me. And on those 2 dates, my other friends were with me. Not Rachel, Emily, Aaron, but my other friend group, which is a much bigger friend group, who all are in relationships. Well, most of them. And me and this person acted like we were in a relationship whenever we were with the friend group, because we were like on a date, we were being cuddly, whatever like that. And I thought halfway through it, I was like, oh my god, this is what I was looking for. This is what I was thinking. And I was like, and I now have it. And I've realized how stupid this is. Like, I've realized how stupid it is that this was all I wanted. To, like, feel comfortable in hanging out with my other friends. Rachel, Emily. And after that date, I just kind of was like, oh, I think it's over. I've now experienced it, and I've realized how stupid what I was feeling was. Or at least how insignificant in the grand scheme of things it was. And it genuinely did like a world of wonder for me. It was like exposure therapy. I acted like I was in a relationship with this person in front of all my friends who were also acting like that with their significant others, and I kind of experienced it, and I now know how it feels, and I now know that that's fine, and that's how they feel, but that's not what I'm going through in that moment, and that's fine. But I've experienced it now. I had just never experienced it. I had never experienced ever being with any of my friends and having a date there in which I felt like they respected me. And with this person, I did. Now, this isn't going anywhere, by the way. It was literally just like one date. But it was a nice one, but it was just like a date. You know what I mean? Don't take what I'm saying. But because the last time that happened was one of my like biggest spirals, was like around August time, whenever I had been, seeing this guy loosely, for a couple weeks, months, whatever, on and off, and he, hung out with me whenever I was with my friends a couple times, specifically Rachel, and he just didn't care about me as a person. He didn't care about me as a person. He didn't respect me as a person. I mean, all I was literally an object to him, and that was a moment in which I had to like have a wake-up call by my friend Rachel being like, she was like, I love you, but like you deserve someone that like doesn't look at you as an object, and you deserve that. And so after that, it took me months to not feel like I would ever be just treated as like an object, or just something to do or something. That sounds so graphic, but like You know, something like that. And then I deleted all dating apps, I stopped going on dates with people. There's another cat hair in my mouth. Did I get it? Let me lick around. I got it. And I mean, I stopped wanting to be with someone because I thought, oh my god, all I will ever be to someone is that. You know what I mean? So it was nice to, so that was where a lot of the insecurity came from whenever I experienced, you know, my friends being in relationships. I was like, oh my god, what are they doing that I'm not doing? However, now that I, like, kind of, you know, experience it, I mean, I didn't really experience it, but, like, kind of experience it, it's kind of made me get over it, where I'm like, okay, you know, that's what it is, that's fine. But anyway, that's just kind of like where I'm at now with, you know, my friend group, and so I'm so glad that I've reconnected with them. You have no idea, because I've missed them so much, but it was like a double-edged sword where it was like I missed them so much and could go out with them, you know, to dinner tonight, but I will come back and be so upset. And it was nothing to do with them at all, like I've previously explained, but it was enough that it scared me that I didn't want to send myself into like a sadness. So that was something I wanted to share with the class. But I'm thinking that, so on Friday, hello? Sorry, I feel like Dolly wants my attention. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay, she literally just wanted to sit out in the balcony with me. I thought she didn't want to do that, which is why I put her in, but apparently she wants to. So anyway, on Friday, so St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to be, like I said, going and meeting Paris Hilton at like 5 p.m. or something like that. And here's the challenge of the day. I love a challenge. The challenge of the day is I need to go to London, meet Paris Hilton, come back from London on a Friday, on St. Patrick's Day, when the trains are going to be busy and booked and cramped and cancelled and all like this, get back to Brighton, and then go to the bar with my friends for St. Patrick's Day. The one day that I have a year. St. Patrick's Day. Like, that is my day. Especially being in Brighton. So it's going to be a challenge of a day, and I'm very excited for a little challenge. Yeah, a lot of my friends are going clubbing. See, if you want the St. Patrick's Day experience, you know what you need to do? Bar hop. You go from bar to bar. You don't have to drink at each bar, but you get the vibe of a lot of different, you know, bars. And that is so important for St. Patrick's Day. And I absolutely wish I was back home for St. Patrick's Day. But the reason I didn't go back home was because I wanted to go to the Paris Hilton thing. So, not even Derry, but like Belfast. Belfast is like where you go for St. Patrick's Day. Dublin is too expensive. Belfast is where you go. Belfast is like, if you want to have the St. Patrick's Day experience, you go to Belfast. Don't go to Dublin. It's too commercialized, too expensive. Dublin's also just really expensive in general. More expensive than London, I would say. Brighton just doesn't do it. Brighton doesn't do it, and it's so bleak. We went to one bar last time, and it just didn't really do anything. It didn't do anything. And what was the other place we went to? We went to an Irish pub, and the Irish pub weren't even celebrating it. It was just like a normal night, and I was like, this is so bleak. Like, if we were back home in Ireland, this would be a big thing. However, me and my friends always make it like a special thing, and I'm excited for that, at least. But basically, that's something to look forward to. I'm so homesick, though. I am so homesick. Girl. Do you want to know why I'm ignoring her right now? Because she was in my bed for the... No. She was in my bed... No. No. This is not how this works. She was in my bed for 2 hours with her avoiding sitting next to me, not wanting to be near me, not wanting to be in the bed, not wanting to... just anything. If I pet her, no. And so the time that I start filming is when she wants all the attention. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like this in the house. So anyway, literally, it was like 2.5 hours after I did a Twitch stream. I was like lying down in bed watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She was refusing to be anywhere near me. And she does this a lot, where if I'm filming a video, she needs to be the center of attention, which I normally give it to her, but not after you spent 3 hours ignoring me. Doesn't work like that. And yes, I am petty. Yeah, I'm petty, even with my animals, yeah. So anyway, there's that. But what I was saying is, I'm so homesick. I've never been so homesick in my life. But I need a dog sitter. I don't have a dog sitter right now, and the reason I don't have a dog sitter, oh my god, I don't even know if I want to tell this story, is because I had a really good dog sitter. Like a really, really, really good dog sitter. Dolly, do you want to go back into Bon Bon? Good girl. Good girl. The reason I don't have a dog sitter right now, is, again, I had a really good one, and really reliable, really friendly girl, really nice girl, really nice boyfriend as well, really loved the dogs. You know, whenever you can tell someone really does enjoy your animals. She obviously enjoyed the paycheck as well, but like, enjoyed the animals, didn't have her own animals, had a nice space in which she looked after them. Again, I cannot stress enough, reliable, had her own car, was able to pick them up, drop them off, you know, made sure they were really well looked after. Oh, just perfect, perfect, perfect across the board. She would even make it sometimes that I could, like, you know, go on a trip tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, I could call her up today and she'd be like, yes. Because it was like her main job. Or it wasn't her main job. She worked at a bar, and I know all this from Facebook. She worked at a bar, and I hired her enough that she quit her job and became a full-time dog sitter. However, not on any sites. She was just a full-time dog sitter for, like, me, because I was booking her so much. Because, you know, I was like, every month I was like either going home or going to Paris or whatever like that, and if she had the dogs for a couple days, let me tell you something, that was very expensive. But I was willing to pay the price if, you know, my animals were looked after well, and she sent me updates, and, you know, it was just I would be able to go on a trip and I wouldn't be able to have to, you know, even worry. You know what I mean? So, oh my god, London, New York, LA, Paris, Vienna, all these different places, Ireland. Whenever I would go, she would look after them. So reliable. And in August, for my mom's birthday, I had planned... So normally I, like, wouldn't plan my trips, and I would be like, in 2 days I'm going, are you available? And she'd be like, yeah, and I'd be like, slay. And if she wasn't, I would get someone else. So I keep feeling someone's looking at me, but they're not. In August, it was my mom's birthday, and I actually planned a trip. Like, planned it, like, weeks in advance. I was going to take my mom and dad to Disneyland in Paris, and we were going to do a week in Paris, and it was right after me and my mom had went to Paris to see Lady Gaga. I love that beeping. I love this beeping. I love it. Anyway, me and my mom went to Lady Gaga at the Chromatica Ball. It's like getting louder. Oh, because they're probably beeping. Okay. At the Stade, it'll stop in a second. At the Stade de France in Paris. Jesus Christ. I think Dolly just tried to take Bonnie's bone and she snapped at her. So anyway, Stade de France, Paris. We go there for 2 days. The reason me and my mom go for 2 days is because we didn't want to do anything in Paris because my dad was going to be coming on a trip with me for one of the first times ever, especially to Paris with him. And we wanted to save everything for him. No museums, no parks, no restaurants, no whatever. We literally stayed in the hotel room, went to the concert, came back, and, you know, ate, like, fast food. I think we went to one museum, and then me and my mom got, like, really drunk at a cafe, and then went to a museum, and then had to go to bed because we were that drunk. And then the next day we went to Lady Gaga, then we went home. The reason we didn't do anything was because, again, we were going the following week with my dad, and we wanted to keep everything fresh and special. We were going for, like, I guess, like 5 days or something like that, with a day of Disneyland or 2 days of Disneyland, I can't remember. And this trip was booked a month before it happened, and I told the dog sitter weeks before it happened. My mum and dad fly out to Belfast, or to Brighton, and my mum's birthday, we celebrate it, and it was the next day I think we were going to leave, or was it? No, because I had to get my mum a Disney cake at the shop for her birthday in here to sing her happy birthday as a way of being like, we're supposed to be at Disneyland right now. Kind of spoiling the story. So the night before we're supposed to leave, my dog sitter hasn't sent me the confirmation text, and I'm calling her, she's not responding to me, texting her, she's not responding to me, calling, blah, blah, blah. And the week before she was like, okay, we're good for this time, I'm going to pick them up this. So I was like, okay, she's never normally, you know, just ignore me, but this is fine. And like 2 days or something before, she had like let me know everything was fine. The day before we're supposed to leave, I'm like, that's weird, she hasn't confirmed with me, but maybe, you know, she just doesn't have her phone on her. So the morning that we're supposed to leave, we wake up and we have a flight at like the afternoon. I'm like, she still hasn't responded to me. I'm like, this is so weird. So I start spam calling her, like literally like manically calling this number on like my phone and my mom's phone. Spamming this girl. I'm spamming this girl because I'm like, what is going on? We have a flight to catch. You literally confirmed this booking a couple days ago. Never normally like this. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I get this text from her and she's like, hey Adam, not available to look after the girls. Something's came up, I've went back home. Or no, wait, oh my god, I'm gonna get so angry. This is what it was. It was, hey Adam, can't look after the dogs. Sorry for late notice. Something happened last week and I had to go home on Monday, or something like that, which was like a week ago at this stage. So she had been home for a week, and within that time had confirmed the booking, knowing that it wasn't going to happen because she was back home. And I'm like, I have to break the news to my mom and dad that we no longer have a dog sitter and can't go on this trip. And the worst thing about it was, this was a very expensive trip. Disneyland Hotel, Paris Hotel, all this, flights, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't go. Because our flight was in 3 hours, and she let us know an hour before the pickup time that she had been home in a different country for a week and didn't tell us. I don't know why I've gotten into this story. Oh, because I don't have a dog sitter to go back home. And I immediately dropped her. Like, that was so unprofessional. Because she had said in the message as well, she forgot to let me know. You forgot to let me know. I'm literally the only client you have. Not like she doesn't have any. Literally. Does not have any now. Because I was her only reference, and I didn't give her one. I did not give her one. Petty? Probably. But that was a lot of... I'm talking thousands. Thousands. And more importantly, I've never been so disappointed that I let my parents down. They understood, and but especially my dad. Because my dad probably feels left out that me and my mom go on a lot of trips together, and me and my mom do a lot together. The main reason for that is because my dad works a lot of hours that are like non-negotiable, so it's hard. And I always want him to feel that, you know, we still are the same level of bond as what me and my mom have, and I wanted to make that effort, and that was this big trip. And then none of it happened. And they were so disappointed. And I literally spent the entire day in bed, like, crying. I have never been so disappointed in something not working out in my life. And it just was so disappointing. And there was no way that we could have booked a dog sitter at that time. And there was no way that, you know, I was going to reluctantly, or that I was going to rush into booking another dog sitter that I didn't know, because that wouldn't have been safe for the dogs, and that's the main priority in all of this. And so I don't have a dog sitter because that was my dog sitter, and she was always reliable and she was always thing. But listen, if you had to travel home on the day and there was an emergency and blah 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 blah, it was different that she had went home a week before the booking and didn't let me know. So anyway, we spent that week in Brighton, and I think my parents enjoyed it. But like for me, it was just like, you know, being in Brighton. Obviously they were there, but like it was just like being in Brighton. I just felt so disappointed. So I don't have a dog sitter is what that long-winded answer was for. And it takes a while to get a dog sitter because I have to, you know, make sure that the girls like them. I have to make sure that they have an environment in their house in which I like. I have to make sure that they have no other animals, because Bonnie is a little bit iffy when it comes to meeting new people, and by iffy I mean she is literally the biggest bitch ever. And for Bonnie's safety as well, I need to make sure that there's no other animals, because what if they lied to me and said they don't have any animals, you know, just trying to get a booking, and then I give the dogs to them, and they have like a secret cat, and Bonnie kills the cat, or something like that. And then Bonnie's to be put down. So it's really, this like stage is really important. So I started reaching out to dog sitters this week actually because um, I really want to go home. I really want to go home. I really want to go. I've never been so homesick in my life. Um, this is one of the longest stretches I have not been home. Um, so I really want to go home. I really miss my nana and granda. I really miss my nana and granda. I mean, I miss my parents, but like I really miss my nana and granda. Um, so I really just would love to be back home. So I'm trying to get a new dog sitter, but it's difficult because there's just so many things that go into it. Um, the cats are different. The cats are just so easy. The cats are so easy. Um, and also my friends Emily and Rachel now like love looking after the cats because they have their own place as well. I mean, Emily was amazing looking after Gomez whenever Tyler was sick as well. So like, just you know. Um, but yeah, that's currently like where I'm at and what I'm dealing with. I mean, not that much. In terms of that Paris story, the only reason I'm saying it was to give context. I mean, you know, I didn't do anything to her other than literally like fire her. Like, I mean, the amount of money that I lost in that from her like negligence, I literally could have sued her. Is what I remember telling one of my friends who does law tube. You know them. I just don't want to throw them under the bus or whatever. One of my friends who does law tube, I was, you know, talking to them, and they were literally saying how like you could sue in the small claims because like that's thousands of pounds that are lost because of negligence. But the good news of that story, which has just popped into my head, was I ended up tweeting and being like, is there any muckers that live in Paris? And someone responded to me, and I was like, do you want to go to Disneyland tomorrow? Like, I have 3 tickets. Do you want to go to Disneyland tomorrow? And they were like, and I gave them the tickets just for free. Because I would rather they have been used. And they were like, Disneyland VIP tickets. They didn't use all 3, but they used 2. They took their mum, and they ended up sending me, which I was so grateful. They sent me photos of, you know, them and their mum outside the castle, and you know, them on rides, and I just like watched them and like wept. I was like so sad. I mean, I was so happy that like, you know, someone got to use them, but I was just like, I don't really get to hang out with my parents at all these days. I mean, we're so far apart. Like they're, you know, way over an ocean and stuff like that. So to have like my only real time that I had with both of them, especially like both of them together, ruined, was really something that like still kind of messes me up, because that was the last time I had both of them in my apartment. And you know, as much as they would tell you it was like a great time or whatever, I mean, I just hope they think that, because it was frustrating. And then I was in such a bad mood the entire time they were there because I was just so upset about everything, and it was just like so anyway, it's crazy that we're almost approaching that like similar time again, summer, and that's like just crazy to think about. It's like crazy to think about. I also need a dog sitter because LA is coming up. Well, it's not coming up, but like, when is it? March, April, May, June. I mean, LA's in June, I think, or something like that. Or no, LA's in July, but the you know, the span of time that I'm away in LA, I'm gonna plan it. So I'm being more tactical with my trips this year. What I'm gonna do is whenever I go on a trip, I'm gonna do as much as possible within that time period rather than going, you know, every couple weekends. So I think before I go to LA, I'm gonna do, you know, like Paris and, you know, do all that. I love my Paris vlogs. I don't think people watch them. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think people watch them. I don't think people care for them, but it kind of always inspires me again and kind of keeps me feeling, you know, refreshed whenever I make content. So I think at a certain stage, going to Paris and, you know, taking photos and filming vlogs and even filming my drama videos out there and stuff like that, and what will be now, you know, streaming out there, it's just something that keeps me, you know, reigniting the flame of, you know, doing this every day and, you know, keeping it fresh and stuff like that. And so even if nobody watched, that would be something that I would still do. So I mean, there's that as well. But it's just like, I'm so glad that there's like a morning where I can sit out here. You have no idea, it's been the worst weather. It's been the worst weather of all time. So I'm just so grateful to have it. Also, I just want to thank anyone who has been supporting me on Twitch. So I'm streaming over there, and I got reached out to by them like a month or 2 months ago or something like that. And I had a couple meetings with them where they were basically like, we really like your YouTube channel and we want you to, you know, always focus on your YouTube channel, but we would love for you to try out our platform alongside it, you know, diving deeper into topics that, you know, you touch upon on your YouTube, which are like the Am I the Assholes and the Reddit threads and stuff. And it's just been a nice kind of, I've never felt so connected to the audience, and I just want to say thank you to people who have been watching and have been making it that I'm not talking to myself and stuff like that. I really, I appreciate it beyond words. And so, yeah, I think what I'm going to do with my day today is, I haven't slept, but I did wake up really late yesterday. I mean, I woke up yesterday at 6 p.m. And then I immediately went to the quiz with my friends at 7 p.m., which we won. So, I mean, it makes sense why I'm still awake. But I think what I'm going to do is, after this has been great, I'm almost done this. I'm going to film a couple drama videos, and then I think I might go into town. I haven't been into town because the weather's been so bad, and I've also slept through the day. Me and the girls are literally living on a New York City time zone right now. So I will see where the day takes me, but I appreciate you being here. I have loved this, and I mean, I'm literally praying, I don't know if you will, that we get more mornings like this so I can come out here and talk, because it really is just like, I think I forget how, I think I get so caught up in, you know, feeling so stressed, especially about money, that I forget, like, I'm like 3 years in Brighton in a couple weeks. Isn't that fucking insane? 3 years? Wait, is that right? No, that's not right. 3 years, that's not right. Is it 2 years? April 2021. 21, 22, 20... Is it 2 years or 3 years? It's 2 years. I've been here 2 years. Okay, that's better than 3 years. I forget that I've been here 3 years, and I've kept myself going for 3 years, and I've... Oh my god, how much have me and the animals went through in 3 years. I mean, we got Tyler, we lost Tyler, and all of them have grown up, and it's crazy to think that this balcony is the same balcony that I was sitting on in that, you know, first video, where I was sitting right here. And I was like, oh my god, I can't, like, I'm all on my own. And I mean, look, I mean, I did it, I'm doing it, and I think at a time whenever I get so swamped up and being stressed about things, I also think it's important to be like, I'm still here, I'm still, you know, doing my best. That's all I can do, and I think that's kind of my motto here. So kind of circling back to trying times, if you're struggling, if you're stressed right now, just kind of look at it from 2 years ago. Would you think you are where you are right now? And even if you're struggling now, or even if you were struggling back then or whatever like that, you're still going, you're still, you know, kicking ass and stuff like that. And I think that's the message I'll leave on. But I appreciate you watching. I will see you very soon, and bye.